Hey everybody, Sawyer here, and this is my review for Triple Frontier, the new Netflix original movie. It had a theatrical release and it's like a limited theatrical release, but I think now you can find it on Netflix for the most part. It's a basically action thriller. It revolves around this group of five former military. Well, a couple of them are still in the military, I think, but like these five former military guys who stayed friends over the years, and they decide they're all kind of financially hurt or or have some kind of damage to them, and they decide they're going to work together to rip off this huge cartel like kingpin guy and steal all his money. They plan out the mission, and it goes from there. It's actually I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well done. There is some pacing issues throughout, like the middle kind of drags a little bit, but I thought that the build up is really good. Like there's a lot of good tension. The build up to like the major scenes is really well done. The big moment, like where they actually rip off the drug cartel guy that's in the trailer, like that's actually kind of early in the movie. It's probably like an hour in, or maybe 45 minutes in, and the rest of the movie, because it's like a two and a half, it's like a 2 hour movie in 5 minutes or something like that. So the rest of the movie is kind of like focused around them escaping from that situation, them having to they crash and they have to like travel through all kinds of terrain while trying to carry all this tons of money while being chased by enemies. It's pretty interesting. It gets really intense. I'm not gonna lie, those movie kind of reminded me of that. If you've seen Punisher season 2, it reminded me of that whole storyline with Jigsaw recruiting a bunch of former military guys so they can rob banks and then start building it up. They started building up this whole crime empire, like going in, taking out drug dealers and stealing their money and stuff. It feels like that, but on a much more grand, higher budget scale. Trekking through South America and all this, and I really like how they go through a lot of different terrain, and I think that's now that I'm looking back at it, I think that's why it's called Triple Frontier, is because there's like three very distinctive environments they have to go through in this movie. Like they start off in the kind of the jungle, and then like in the middle part they're going through the mountains, the Alps or whatever, and it has a very distinct visual appearance from the earlier moments when they're in the jungle. And then towards the end, they're getting on this beach. There's very water based. There's a lot of island kind of stuff, and it has its own very distinct feel from the other two locations that they were in before. And this makes for some really cool action sequences. There's an awesome fight scene or shootout in the mountains where they're hiding behind rocks and stuff, and it just looks really nice. It's got a very interesting appeal to it, and just the way that characters are able to like hide behind stuff, and makes for a very entertaining fight scene. Same thing with the whole cartel breaking through the house. It's very intense. I keep using the word intense, but it works here. The thing that really stands out the most about this movie are the characters, are the actors. There's some really good actors in here, and they do a good job. I thought that a lot of the characterizations are very well done. They interact very well with each other. You can totally feel that you can totally just see how the experience on these characters, how they've know each other, they've fought with each other before, they know how to act with each other. They have a very interesting system in place. I really like it. It's very well done, and a lot of the characters. I'm trying not to give too much about the movie away, but I really like some of the arcs that these characters go through. Some of the characters really surprised me, like did these big 360-degree turns in their whole ideology and stuff. For example, Ben Affleck's character pictured here, his character surprised me because I thought I knew which way they were going with his character, and then he makes a completely like 360-degree turn. Like I wasn't expecting it. It was very entertaining the way they do what they do with his character. I thought that his character has very interesting motivations and kind of like what happens throughout the movie. Again, I'm trying not to give away too much, so I am being vague. Another character that really stood out was his name is like Garrett. I don't remember the last name. It's the guy that plays Charlie Hunnam's character's brother. He's the MMA guy. I thought he was really good. Like at the beginning of the movie, I thought, oh, here we go. He's just gonna be like this meathead, jarhead kind of guy who's like shoot first, ask questions later. He's gonna be the hothead. I just thought that was gonna be like standard characterization they gave to him. But he ended up being one of my favorite characters in the movie because he was just, I like his morals. He had a higher moral sense than the other characters, and I really like how passionate he got about certain things. And he was actually kind of smart. Like there's other scenes where he's kind of dumb, but he was kind of smart, and I thought that was really interesting. It was very human. So in closing, I think this is a very solid action movie. There are some pacing issues towards the middle. Like it gets there's a lot of survival elements, man versus nature, that kind of slows it down a little bit. There's still entertaining moments, but it definitely, like, I think the movie loses some traction in those parts. It builds back up towards the end. The movie doesn't really follow a formula that I thought it was going to follow, which is kind of refreshing. But it does. I think it takes a little bit of getting used to the way it kind of flows. It's a little not what I was expecting at all. I really like the characters. At the end of the day, this is more of a character piece, I feel like, and I really did enjoy the characters. I really enjoy the interactions. These actors do a good job with each other. These are some great environments. There are some good action scenes. They are kind of spread out, but there are some really good action scenes, and the build-up is great. Thank you guys for watching. This has been my review for Triple Frontier. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie, if you liked it, or if you saw it in the movie theaters and how that experience was. Just let me know. See you guys later, and thanks for watching.